Are you someone who teaches others or takes up time with talking? In order to really teach, you have to take responsibility for your teaching. You are responsible to make them learn. So teaching is more than just talking. And it all rests on you, the teacher. In this video, I'm going to give you a simple framework for effective life-changing teaching, starting now. My name is Ezra, and my mission is to equip you to rebuild a foundation of God's Word in the lives of children. So how do you teach? If you're teaching Sunday school, or at home, or in church, or anywhere, how do you teach? There's a difference between teachers and talkers. A talker is someone who just uses up the time of others by talking. A teacher is someone who actually causes learning and change. So what is the purpose of teaching? Is it to fill time or talk about your thoughts? No, that's not teaching. The purpose of teaching is life change. Those who hear your teaching should change because of what you said. But how do you do this? How do you avoid being a talker and change lives as a teacher? A lot of this information on how to teach is what I've learned from this book, The 7 Laws of the Learner by Bruce Wilkinson. It's the best teaching book I've read, and if you want to take your teaching deeper and increase your effectiveness, I highly recommend it. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. We're going to look at a framework for teaching, but that would be useless without a certain mindset. You have to believe this or nothing will help you. You have to understand your responsibility as the teacher. Who is responsible for the students to learn? It's the teacher's responsibility. Now wait a minute, shouldn't the student be responsible for learning? If they don't want to learn, it's their fault, right? So are students responsible? Yes, but the teacher is also 100% responsible for what their students learn. If their students are not learning, guess whose fault it is? It's the teachers. They're not teaching. In order to be a teacher, you have to teach. And have you taught if your students haven't learned? No. This is the mindset that is absolutely necessary to be a teacher. You are responsible for what they learn. If they don't learn anything and they don't change, that's your fault. But wait, isn't that out of your control? You can't force someone to learn, right? Teachers do have control over certain areas that dictate the amount of learning. Teachers have control over their subject. You can choose how you approach the content, which illustrations you use, how deep or how shallow you go in different things. Teachers also have control over their style. How is the content delivered? Is it boring or is it exciting? Teachers also have control over the speaker. How you act and what you do is in your control. A teacher does not have control over the student, but by leveraging what they do control, a good teacher can directly influence how much learning takes place. With that belief that the teacher is responsible, we can then move on to how do you teach. If the teacher is not responsible, it doesn't matter what you do because it all depends on the student. But the teacher is responsible, and by the right methods, anyone can become an effective teacher. So now let's get into the basic framework for teaching. The structure is like 3 blocks. The first block is the need. When you start teaching, the first thing you need to do is start building a need for the content you want to teach. As soon as you start to talk, imagine your students are asking themselves these questions. Why should I care about what you say? Are you going to say something that's worth paying attention to? Do I want the information you're going to give? What difference does it make to me? Who cares? If you're going to actually teach, you need to make sure they care. They have to be motivated to listen to what you're going to tell them. If they don't care about what you're going to say, they won't learn. So you need to motivate them by showing the value of the information you're going to share. If I tell you I'm going to teach you how to make $100 quick, are you interested in listening? You want to know the information I'm going to give. Or what if I tell you I'm going to tell you the steps to paint a fence? It could be the exactly same content, but the difference in the amount learned is how much motivation the student has in the information. The worst thing for a student is sitting in a class and having that question of, when in the world am I ever going to use this? So make the need clear. And if there really isn't a need, why teach it? If you'd like to find out more about methods of motivation, check out this video in the YouTube card on the 3 main methods you can use for motivation. Once they feel the need for the information you're going to give them, it's time to move on to the next block. Before we move on, if you're getting value out of this video, let me know by hitting that like button. That tells me which videos you'd like to see. Also, if you want more videos just like this, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. Question of the day, what is something that one of your teachers did that caused you to learn in their class? Let me know down in the comments and let's get back into it. The next step after you've raised a need is to deliver the content. But this is not just an information dump. One of the worst things you could do is just to see how much information you can throw at someone in one sitting. The content must be packaged to best be received by the student. The first thing to do is to have a main teaching. What is the one thing that you want them to catch, even if they catch nothing else? Second is to make it memorable. The book 7 Laws of the Learner goes deeper into retention methods, but here are some quick tips. Make it unexpected. Keep it simple and review often. The goal of this step is to make the information as easy as possible to memorize and understand. The next block is application. So you've raised a need so they want your teaching, and now you've taught it to them so they understand it. Now you need to show them how to use it. How does what they learned affect their life from now on? What are they supposed to do with what they know now? The whole purpose of teaching is to change lives. So, how does what you taught change their life? If the information doesn't have any use, it's literally useless. How do they use and apply the information they now have? You as the teacher should know most about the content, so you should be able to come up with applications for it. If there really isn't any application, you might want to reconsider teaching it. That is the general framework for teaching. But understand, each part does not need to be separated. They can all blend together. Sometimes it's best to get the application spread out in the time that you have rather than just at the end. But those three parts together will make effective and impactful teaching. So now you look at the next lesson you're going to teach and work backward in your planning. Start with the content and figure out that first. What's the main teaching, and how can you best package the information to be understandable and memorable? Then ask, how are your students' lives going to change after you teach? How can you apply it to their lives? Then ask, why should they care about this? And build that need so they'll want it.